Well, good evening from the DeWitt Gymnasium on the campus of Dordt University in Sioux Center, Iowa, as we get set for non-conference women's basketball between the Dordt Defenders and the Bellevue Bruins. The Bellevue Bruins enter today's contest with a 1-3 mark, while the Dordt Defenders are 3-0 at this point of the season, having beaten, actually 2-0, beg your pardon. They have beaten Dakota State, and they also have a win over Presentation to their credit already this season. For the Bellevue Bruins, they are 1-3 so far this year, and for Bellevue, their most recent competition was a loss to Briarcliff 81-49. They also lost to Concordia and Bethany, that's a school out of Kansas, and they defeated Midland 87-61 to start the year. Players to watch for the Bellevue Bruins include Faith Ross and Miranda Hennings at 11.5 and 10.5 points per game. Ash Scott is also averaging 10.5 points per game. For the Dordt Defenders, they come in with Bailey Beckman leading the way with an 18.5 points per game average. Carly Gustafson is at 17 points per game. Macy Sievers is at 8.5. Hayden Hymanson is 9 points per game. McKenna Klecker is at 7.5. And Faith Van Holland is also at 7.5 points per game. Here's your starting lineup for today's contest. Let's begin with the Dordt Defenders. They'll start Hayden Hymanson, a 5'8 sophomore from Rock Rapids, averaging 9 points per game. Number 13 is Bailey Beckman, a 5'5 senior from Panora, Iowa, averaging 18.5 points per game. For the Defenders, number 30, Carly Gustafson. She's a 5'11 senior from Ethan, South Dakota, averaging 17 points per outing. Faith Van Holland wears number 32. She's a 5'8 junior from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, averaging 7.5 points per game. And Janie Schoenhoven is a 5'10 sophomore from Hospers, Iowa, averaging 12 points per game. We'll get to the starting lineup for the Bellevue Bruins in just a little bit. We're going to take a break for our national anthem. This will be a 2-minute timeout, a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with the starting lineup for the Bellevue Bruins and opening tip-off right after this.
This Dordt Media Network student-produced live stream broadcast is brought to you by Joyner & Zwart Dentistry in Orange City, offering dentures, implants, and dental care for your whole family in a modern and friendly atmosphere.
And sponsored by Sioux Center Health Therapy, partnering with Dordt University to provide quality care to all athletes. Sioux Center Health Therapy.
At Premier Communications, we're all about connection, connecting you to all the entertainment, work, and family you love with our phone, internet, cable TV, and tech support services. And now, that connection has gotten even faster with internet speeds up to 1 gig. Experience the next level of connection with Premier Communications. Visit us online at mypremieronline.com or call toll-free 800-741-8351. Premier Communications, looking ahead.
Hi, I'm Quentin Olson. I'm from Homeland, Wisconsin, and my favorite thing about the Dordt Media Network is that all the productions are student-ran. With little guidance, we get to do everything you see on the screen by ourselves. I'd like to shout out my friends and family back home. Thanks for watching the Dordt Media Network.
My name is Sean Solano. I'm a junior here at Dordt, and I'm from Managua, Nicaragua. I love working for the Dordt Media Network because the people I get to work with learning the amazing camera operating system and being able to watch all the games, especially a great way to spend my Fridays and Saturdays. Thanks for watching the Dordt Media Network.
Here's your starting lineup now for the Bellevue Bruins. They will start 00. Asha Scott, a 5'8 senior from Washington, D.C. Number 20 is Ashton Arnold, a 5'11 sophomore from Clovis, California. Number 21 is Laura Jurek. She is a 5'10 graduate transfer. She is from Bellevue, Nebraska, averaging 4 points per game. Faith Ross is a 5'11 senior from Gretna, Nebraska, averaging 11.5 points per game. And number 33 is Miranda Hennings, a 5'8 graduate transfer. She is from Council Bluffs, Iowa. She is averaging 10.5 points per game. I'd like to welcome in those of you listening via the World Wide Web and watching on the Dordt Media Network, and also on KIHK Radio, KIHK Rock Valley. Starting lineups again for the defenders: Hymanson, Beckman, Gustafson, Van Holland, and Schoenhoven. And for the Bellevue Bruins and Coach Dave Denley, Scott, Arnold, Jurek, Ross, and Hennings. Most recent outing for both of these teams, the defenders got a win over Dakota State. That was back on November 1 week ago tonight, 89-68. The defenders were up 28-15 at the end of the first quarter and 31-52 at the end of the half on the way to that 21-point victory for Bellevue. They most recently played Briar Cliff and lost to the Chargers 81-49, converted just 50. Briar Cliff converted over 50% of their field goals, while limiting Bellevue to 21 of 63 shooting. We are underway with basketball. Opening tap controlled by the defenders. With the basketball up front is Hymanson. Hymanson back over to Beckman. Beckman with the basketball, dribbles to the free throw line, stops, pops, 15-footer, good. 2-point basket for Bailey Beckman, and the defenders are on the board first, 2-0. 2-0 our score, just underway from the DeWitt Gym. Bellevue in their purple jerseys pick up the dribble. Pass goes left wing with it on the left side. That is Arnold. Arnold with the basketball. She gives it up to Ross. Ross with it left side. Ross gives it back over to Arnold. Arnold with the basketball. So Dordt up 2-0 after the basket by Bailey Beckman. Long triple on the way and bank it in from straight on. Faith Ross with the 3-2 lead for the defenders as she banks it in from straight on, 22 feet out. Gustafson crosses over, nothing there, comes back outside to Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Beckman, long triple on the way, and her shot is good. Bailey Beckman with a 3-point basket, and Bailey Beckman with all 5 points for the defenders thus far. Dordt leads 5-3. 5-3 our score. Pass goes right side over to Jurek. Jurek with it on the wing. Jurek gives it back out front. Another 3 from straight on this one. Barely grazes the front of the rim by Faith Ross. And here come the defenders. So Ross pulls the trigger twice. Banks one in. Leaves the other one short. Still looking for the just right shot. Pass goes left side. Get it over to Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Free throw line jumper. It's up and good. She's going to make that more often than not as the defenders are out to a 7-3 lead, and we have a timeout on the floor. Timeout charged to the Bellevue Bruins and Dave Denley. This will be a 30-second timeout, and this timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 30 seconds.
This Dordt Media Network student-produced live stream broadcast is brought to you by Joyner and Zwart Dentistry in Orange City, offering dentures, implants, and dental care for your whole family in a modern
Bellevue with the basketball after the timeout. It's 7-3. Dordt with the lead. Dave Denley wanting to talk things over with his team after allowing 3 basically uncontested jumpers by one of Dordt's best jump shooters, Bailey Beckman. Throw it down low. Shot up off the glass and good. Right with the right hand over the left shoulder. That's Ashton Arnold. and the Dordt lead is 7-5. 7-5 our score. Right side pass, Hymanson, 3, left it short, no good. Rebound corralled by Janie Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven back over to Beckman. Beckman with the basketball, gives it up to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven dumps it down low. Gustafson. Gustafson going to work. Hook shot in the lane. There's 1,001 points for Carly Gustafson through the course of her career, and the defenders lead at 9-5. Beckman entered the game at 9.99. Takes care of that with relative ease. Shot in the lane, no good. Rebound taken away by the defenders. Here comes Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven over to Hymanson. Hymanson over the basketball. Stops on the right wing. Gives it down low to Gustafson. Gustafson with the basketball. Gustafson puts it up with the right hand. Good. Carly Gustafson another 2 points, and the defenders lead it 11-5. So a fast start by the defenders. All seniors scoring thus far. 7 for Beckman, 4 for Gustafson. Pass goes right side. With it on the wing is Hennings. Hennings dumps it down low. Schoenhoven on the post defense, and they're going to call Schoenhoven for a foul. Ashton Arnold turned right into Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven held her ground from my vantage point. That will not be called a foul in the conference season. I will guarantee you that. Ashton Arnold will go to the free throw line. She'll shoot a pair of free throws. First one on the way is up and good. If it is called a foul in the conference season, that will be a departure from what we normally see over the course of the season. Second free throw on the way is up and down, so a couple of made free throws for Arnold, an 80% free thrower entering the game. And the Dordt defenders with the basketball. Hymanson in the backcourt. She passes it ahead to Gustafson. Gustafson across the timeline. Gustafson with it on the right wing, back over to Hymanson. Hymanson, the sophomore from Rock Rapids, down into the corner looking for the post entry pass. Finds Gustafson, shows it from 12 feet. Now gives it off to Van Holland, and we're going to have a foul called on Asha Scott. Scott whistled for the personal foul. That's foul number 1 on her. So Schoenhoven whistled for a foul on one end. Asha Scott whistled for the foul on the other end. And with 6:32 left to go in the first quarter, Dordt has the basketball and the lead. Hymanson with it at the top of the key. Hymanson back over to Schoenhoven. Dump it inside Gustafson. Gives it back over to Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven on the give and go from Gustafson, and Janie's in the scorebook. Janie Schoenhoven with the 2-point bucket. It's 13-7. 13-7 our score. Pass comes right side with the basketball. Scott. Scott around the horn they go. They give it up to Arnold. Arnold with the basketball. Arnold back over to Ross. Ross with it. Ross dump it down low. Give it off back over to Arnold. Arnold on the elbow. And we've got a foul on the play called on Faith Van Holland. A little too aggressive trying to get the ball back. And Faith Van Holland is whistled for foul number 1. That is team foul number 2 against the defenders. Dordt leading it 13-7 here in the first quarter. Nothing but nickels up on the scoreboard. 5:55 left to go first quarter. Van Holland will check out of the ball game. Nielsen checks in, as does Macy Sievers. So Macy and Macy into the game for the defenders. 3 on the way, missed it, no good. Rebound tapped out, and it's loose. And we're going to have a tie-up, and we're going to have a jump ball. No, we're going to have a timeout charged to the Bellevue Bruins. Bellevue uses their second timeout, another 30-second timeout charged to Bellevue. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 30 seconds.
We understand how complex the financial landscape can be to navigate. Our goal is to free up your hands so that you can focus on what is most important in life.
Dordt on the defense on the inbounds pass after Bellevue uses their second timeout. They give it inside, and working inside is Asha Scott for the short jumper. It's 13-9, defenders by 4. Into the front court is Sievers. Sievers with the basketball. Macy Sievers on the left wing, stops at the free throw line, gives it back over to Gustafson. Gustafson to Nielsen. Nielsen right side Backman. We're nearly halfway through the first quarter. Dordt leading 13-9. Into the corner it goes. give it up to Nielsen. Nielsen loses it as she passes it off to Faith Ross. And here come the Bruins. Shot for three, no good. Rebound tapped out and controlled by Scott. Scott with the basketball. Scott gives it back outside. Three on the way, short, no good. Rebound Beckman. Beckman feeds it off to Sievers. Sievers with the basketball into the front court. Sievers trying to split the defense, cut off. Goes into the corner to Gustafson, looking for Caparis. Eliana Caparis into the game at the last break as well. They go high post to Gustafson, into the lane, crossover move, muscles it up, count the hoop, and she is fouled. Carly Gustafson locks up the defensive player with her footwork, and Carly will go to the free throw line for an old-fashioned three-point play, with the defenders leading 15-9. 15-9 defenders, leading by 6. And Gustafson will go to the free throw line for a free throw opportunity. Free throw is up by Gustafson, and it's good. She's got 7. So Carly Gustafson with 7 early points. Dordt leads 16-9. Quickly up the floor with the basketball. Arnold puts up a wild shot. No good. Rebound taken away by Sievers. Sievers on the run ahead to Macy Nielsen. Feeds the trailer Gustafson. Back outside Nielsen. Sets, fires, 3. Bang, bang, bang. 3-point bucket for Macy Nielsen. Nielsen makes it a 10-point ball game, 19-9. 4:12 remaining, first quarter. Bellevue wants to play it a little bit slower. They pass it to Hall. Hall with it on the right side. Swing pass, left wing. With it, driving in is Hennings, and we've got an offensive foul called on the Bellevue Bruins and Asha Scott. Scott whistled for foul number 2, and that is team foul number 3 against Bellevue in this quarter. So they've got one more foul to give before Dordt's into the bonus. Bringing the basketball up will be Sievers, the freshman from Storm Lake, prepped at Newell Fonda High School. Sievers with the left hand, passes over to McKenna Klecker, now Nielsen. Nielsen in the corner. Nielsen lost it, it's loose, and now a reach-in foul called against the defenders and Macy Nielsen. Macy whistled for the personal foul. That's foul number 1 on Macy. Gets a little frustrated after the turnover. It's 19-9, Bellevue basketball. Bellevue with it, ball out front, jamming the pick was Schoenhoven. She comes away with a steal. Sievers into the front court. Macy on the fly. Macy spins into the lane, dumps it off for Schoenhoven. Her shot in traffic, no good. Rebound taken away by Van Blaricon. Van Blaricon passes it back over to Arnold. Arnold gives it up. 3 on the way, missed it, no good. Rebound controlled by Nielsen. Fires it back over to Sievers. Sievers into the front court. Macy with it, stops on the right elbow, throws it back over to Nielsen. Nielsen on the wing, back to Schoenhoven, dumps it inside, and Eliana Caparis with the 2-point bucket. Caparis off of the bench for 2. 21-9, Dordt leading by a dozen. 2:58 left to play here in the first quarter. Bellevue basketball with it is Hall. Hall throws it down low. They get the entry pass. Caparis trying to hold her ground and getting a little separation with a bump was Arnold. Arnold puts it up over the top of Caparis. It's 21-11. 21-11, Dordt with the lead and the basketball. Sievers dumps it inside for Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven up in traffic, shot no good, but a foul called against Hall. Hall with the first personal foul. Janie Schoenhoven will go to the free throw line, and this stat surprised me as I was doing my prep work. This will be her first free throw shot. 21-11. First free throw shot this season for Schoenhoven, and it's off the side of the iron, no good. Another free throw on the way, trying to make it a 11-point lead for the defenders. Our officials tonight, John Garrow, Doug Veek, and Matt Kienow. And Schoenhoven misses both free throws. It's 21-11. For the defenders, that's an area they can improve on. They have made just 58% of their free throws so far this season. 21-11 our score. Dordt still by 10. And Bellevue throws it away into the backcourt. That'll be an over and back violation. It'll be Dordt basketball on the sideline. So Dordt up by 10. Bellevue averaging 65 points per game, giving up 72 points per outing. Dordt, 98 points per game on offense, giving up 58. With the basketball, Macy Sievers out front, picks up her dribble, looking for Klecker, throws it into the corner, Schoenhoven. Cross-court pass, Nielsen, and they're going to call 3 seconds in a lane violation against the defenders, and I believe that's going to go on the defenders. Eliana Caparis, a 5'10 sophomore from Manhattan, Montana, got caught in the lane just a little too long, so the 10-point lead remains. With it on the right side, dribbling back to the top of the key, Hennings. Hennings gives it out front. Hennings gives it off to Hall. Hall with the basketball, looking for the pick play. Gives it instead to Van Blaricon down to the baseline. Schoenhoven not given any ground. 9 to shoot, now 7. Spin into the corner, nothing there. Tapped away by Klecker. 3 seconds on the shot clock. And Bellevue will have to inbound in front of the scorer's table, right in front of our stat crew. Jeff Sager and Simon Dykstra working stats tonight. Always dependable. Pass comes out front. 2 seconds. They fire up a desperation shot. It misses everything. Looked like the rebound was secured by Sievers, but they will stop play. And they'll give Dordt the basketball. Van Holland will inbound to Sievers. Sievers will walk it up. 1:27 remaining here in the first quarter. Dordt leading 21-11. A little bit of a dry spell here for the defenders. Sievers throws it away. Trying to throw it cross court. She thought Nielsen was going to be on the wing. Instead, Nielsen had cheated over to the left elbow. And now Bellevue with the basketball back. Bellevue has the basketball back, and they'll have possession to start the second quarter unless we have a tie-up in between now and the end of the first quarter. Pass goes right elbow to Jurek. Jurek with it. Three-pointer on the step back, no good, and the rebound controlled by Schoenhoven. Gets it ahead to Sievers. Sievers with the basketball. Nobody stops the ball, and she lost it. It's out of bounds, last touch by Bellevue. It'll be Dordt basketball. So Dordt basketball leading 21-11. This Bellevue team converting, I think, right at 20% for three-pointers. Ball's inbounded Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven in traffic off the glass. Count the hoop, and she is fouled. Schoenhoven with a nose for the hoop. She's fouled in the act of shooting. She'll go to the free throw line for the three-point play opportunity. Schoenhoven with the three-point play chance. The defenders so far limiting Bellevue to one made three-pointer so far. Bellevue also making 27% of their three-point shots this season. Dordt leading 24-11. Throw it back out front. If this Bellevue team has to rely on three-point shooting, it's not going to go well for them. Down to the baseline, Hymanson cuts off the drive by Bigger. Nothing there. Kick out pass back to Bigger. 5 seconds, and now a foul called, and she got bailed out on the play. Reach-in foul called against the defenders, and that's going to go on number 30. That is Carly Gustafson, and for Gustafson, that's foul number 1. Fresh 20 for Bellevue to work with. Foul came before the shot. They'll inbound right side of the lane as we face the hoop. Ball deflected out by Gustafson, and it was last touched by the defenders. It'll be Bellevue basketball. Well, this team last year, Bellevue, a very, very salty group. Alexis Martinez was their go-to player. She averaged in double figures, and she was a powerful post player. She has since graduated, no longer with the Bellevue Bruins. 13 to shoot now as Bellevue inbounds. With it out front, dribbling is Ross. Nowhere to go, cut off on the play by Schoenhoven. Ross driving in, cut off, traveled, no call made, and she gets the two-point bucket to go. Faith Ross with 5 points. Hymanson dribbles it up. Hymanson throws over the top, intended for Gustafson. Goes out of bounds, and it's the end of the first quarter. Our score, Dordt 24, Bellevue 13. Let's take a 1-minute break, and we'll be back with the second quarter of play from the DeWitt Gym in 1 minute.
family, farm, business, community. People's Bank, where values matter.
So the new generation of leadership has really benefited from the benevolency of the past leadership.
We were busy from the get-go. They knew who I was, they know my name, they know my first name, they know my parents. It's a small town community with big town amenities. We're privileged to be able to support a place like a Jimmy John's and other franchises like it.
We focus on being a multi-generational boutique to reach as many women in town here that we can. Our goal is just to be a place that can empower women and also just have like the joys of fashion and just a place in town here that brings high fashion into our small town.
Seems like everyone is looking for ways to expand. People are talking about how to grow their businesses, where to find the people to grow their businesses, and just looking to the next best thing out there, whatever their field might be, including ours.
The biggest thing is the city is always growing and investing in the future, which is great to see as a business owner because you know it's not going away anytime soon.
24-13 our score. Bellevue basketball. And the Bellevue Bruins will throw it in. So the Bruins with the basketball. With it out front is Ross. Ross with it on the right wing. Ross gives it off to Hennings. Hennings with the basketball, and we've got a foul called away from the ball. And they're going to call Janie Schoenhoven for a foul on the post position battle. Foul number 1 on Schoenhoven in this quarter. Foul number 2 for the game. So Schoenhoven will check out for a breather. Macy Sievers will check in. Would imagine Schoenhoven will get another rotation yet, and now we have a foul called the other way. Laura Jurek is whistled for the personal foul. And the Dordt defender lead is 24-13. Dordt with the basketball. With it on the right side is Macy Sievers. Sievers at the free throw line, picks up her dribble, throws it into the corner. Van Holland. Van Holland, floater in the lane, too strong, no good, and the rebound is cleared out by Faith Ross. Ross with the basketball. Ross gives it off left side, gives it up to Arnold. Arnold with it. Arnold with the basketball. Arnold comes back over to Hennings. Hennings with the ball. Hennings, kick out pass, comes right side, 3 on the way, is off the mark, no good. And the rebound taken away by Sievers. Sievers with the basketball. Macy into the front court for the Dordt defenders. Dordt leading 24-13. Gustafson with it out front. She goes left side back over to Van Holland. Van Holland, Sievers. Sievers looking inside. Sievers still has the dribble. Picks it up, now comes back over to Van Holland. Van Holland 3, missed it, no good. And the rebound is controlled by Bellevue. Bellevue with the basketball. They fire it up the left sideline. Hennings, 3, no good. Rebound Van Holland gives it back over to Hymanson. Dordt on the run, 3-on-3 break. Hymanson stops, now hesitates, puts it up. Short shot in the lane, no good. Gets her own rebound back, shot is good. 2-point basket for the defenders and Hayden Hymanson, and we're going to have a timeout on the floor. This timeout is charged to the Dordt defenders. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 30 seconds.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
And today's broadcast sponsored by Ployne Publishing. Quality printing from design to delivery.
Bellevue basketball after the timeout. It's 26-13. Dordt showing pressure defense here as we start get things started again here in the second quarter. Dordt up, doubling up on Bellevue right now, 26-13. With the basketball on the right side is Sievers. Sievers with it. Sievers comes back over to Klecker. Klecker step back beyond the three-point line. Right wing, no, decides against it. Comes back over to Vasika. Vasika with the basketball. Inside it goes to to Caparis. Caparis shot no good. And the rebound is controlled by Bellevue. Bellevue with the basketball. It's 26-13. Bellevue in front by 13. Trailing by 13. And a carry called on Faith Ross. It'll be Dordt with the basketball back. 8 minutes left to go in the first half. Dordt leading 26-13. Dordt women will be back in action this Friday. Beginning of a busy week for the defenders. Throw it into the corner, Klecker, and we've got a charging foul called on Macy Sievers. So Macy Sievers whistled for the personal foul. That's foul number 1. Well, as you get further along in the season, the scouting reports get better and better. You have a little more video to watch, and you have more tendencies to pick out. And the Bellevue Bruins have picked a few out on the Dordt defenders so far. There they set up and take a charge from Macy Sievers. Set shot and a 3, misses everything. No good by the Bellevue Bruins. Ashton Arnold casts that one up, and that is well wide of the target. Men's soccer tonight. Concordia ends the Dordt men's soccer season 1-0 on a chilly night in Seward, Nebraska. So the Defender men absorb their 4th loss of the season. Ton of ties and 9 wins. So all in all, a good season for the Defender men's soccer team. Sievers shot no good. Caparis had it off of her fingertips on the rebound attempt. And the Bellevue Bruins will have the basketball back. Both teams struggling to find their footing right now, it seems. Dordt leading 26-13. Bellevue struggling from the floor thus far. 1 for 12 from the three-point line, 8%. Vasika and Klecker work the trap in the corner just across midcourt, and Bellevue will inbound the basketball right in front of the scorer's table. 26-13, defenders up by a baker's dozen. On the floor for the defenders right now, Van Holland, Klecker, Nielsen, Gustafson, and Beckman. With the basketball out front is Asha Scott. Scott with it on the wing. Scott with the basketball. Scott dumps it down low. Bellevue, shot, 15-footer, rattles no good. Rebound controlled by Faith Van Hollen. Van Hollen with the basketball. Van Hollen to Nielsen. Nielsen left corner, back over to Beckman. And we have a player hurt on the play. This is a Bellevue Bruin player down in front of the scorer's table. Miranda Hennings at some point got injured on the play. We'll keep it right here while she is tended to. Let's take a look at some of the numbers. Bellevue currently 5 of 19 from the floor, 1 for 12 on threes. And I mentioned earlier, if they've got to rely on three-point shooting, this is probably that's not a good recipe for them. The defenders 11 of 18 on field goals for 61% thus far, 2 for 4 on threes. Hennings gets up. Dave Denley comes over to check on her status. And a new player checking in. This will be Beggar checking in for her. Rebounds. Dordt has a 15-8 rebounding advantage thus far. Turnovers. Both teams have 5 turnovers so far. Beckman and Gustafson have 7 points each. Schoenhoven has 5 for the defenders for Bellevue. Arnold has 6. And Ross has 5. Beckman gives it off to Hymanson. Hymanson tries to throw it down low for Klecker. Klecker has gathered it, now gives it off to Van Hollen. Van Hollen, layup good. Klecker on the bucket to Van Hollen. The assist for Klecker. It's 28-13, defenders by 15. Bellevue basketball out front, Bigger. Bigger with the basketball, 6:25 remaining. She passes left side to Jurek. And a charging foul called on the Bellevue Bruins. Macy Nielsen setting up and taking the charge on the post-entry pass to Friedman. And it's 28-13. 28-13 our score. 28-13 inbounding is Van Hollen. Van Hollen with the basketball. Van Hollen gets the return pass from Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Left side Nielsen. Nielsen with it on the left wing. Nielsen comes back over to Klecker. Klecker right side. Beckman. Beckman gives it off Gustafson. Gustafson with it. Gets an inside position. Her shot is good. Gustafson with another 2. Dordt leads 30-13. Dordt on a 6-0 run to start the second quarter. It's 30-13. Defenders by 17. With 6:04 remaining here in the first half, the defenders leading. Gustafson lines that one up and knocks it down. Her second three-point play of the evening. And the defender lead is 31-13. Defenders up by 18 thus far. With the basketball is Scott. Scott to Bigger. Bigger with the basketball. Bigger gives it off to Terrell. Terrell with it. Terrell comes back over to Jurek. Jurek with it on the left wing. Jurek picks up her dribble. She comes right side to Van Blaricon. Van Blaricon 3, no good. Rebound controlled by Scott. Scott with the basketball. Fresh 20 to work with for Bellevue. 5.5 left to go in the first half. Scott with it in between the circles. 10 to shoot. Scott puts it on the deck. Van Hollen guarding her. 5 now to shoot. 4. They try to clear it out, and a hand check called on Van Hollen with under 5 seconds left to go on the shot clock. Van Hollen whistled for the second personal foul of the night, her second personal. That's 3 fouls on the defenders in this quarter. We've not had a bonus situation yet. A couple of shooting foul situations Dordt's cashed in on. With it on the right-hand side with the basketball, Bigger. Bigger dumps it down low for Scott. Scott faces up against Van Hollen. Her shot is good. Asha Scott from 10 feet. First bucket of the quarter for Bellevue with 5:02 left to play in the second. Klecker with it at the free throw line. Picks up her dribble. Looks for Van Hollen. Finds her. Van Hollen splits the defense. Too strong off the glass. No good. And the rebound is controlled by Bellevue. Bellevue with the basketball, trailing 31-15. Bruins have it left side, Scott. Scott throws it back over to Hall. Hall with it. Hall gives it up to Van Blaricon. Van Blaricon with it. Van Blaricon to Scott. Scott shot in the lane, no good. Fight for the basketball, it's loose and picked up finally by Van Hollen. Van Hollen hustles it into the front court. Beckman into the corner. Klecker back out front. Van Hollen 3 off the mark, no good. And the rebound is cleared by Bellevue and Van Blaricon. Van Blaricon across half court. She gives it off to Arnold. Arnold with the ball. Arnold with it, comes back over to Scott. Scott to Bigger. Bigger with the basketball. Bigger comes back over to Van Blaricon. Van Blaricon goes back to Scott. Scott with it on the wing. 7 to shoot. Scott puts it on the deck against Van Hollen. Van Hollen trying to hold her ground. 3 seconds. 2. Shot is up. No good. And the Dordt defenders will force another shot clock violation. That'll be another turnover by the Bellevue Bruins. That is their 6th turnover of the game against 5 for the defenders. On the floor for the defenders right now, it's Beckman, Hymanson, Kaparis, Klecker, and Sievers. Bellevue looks like they're back in, almost looks like a zone. Let's see what they do with the first pass. Yep, it's a zone, matching up, trying to match up as best they can out of the zone, but they morph into that, guarding an area. Pass goes left side, Hymanson. Hymanson over the basketball, back to Sievers. Sievers 3, missed it, no good. And the rebound is cleared by Bellevue. Bellevue with the basketball, Ross. Ross into the front court. Ross with it on the left-hand side, picks up her dribble, gives it back over to Hennings. Hennings with the ball. Hennings comes back over to Ross. Ross with it, right side. This is Terrell. Terrell with it, left wing. Comes back over to Hall. Hall with it on the left wing. She comes back to Hennings. Hennings with it. Hennings, left-handed hook in the lane, shot no good, and the rebound taken away by Kaparis. Kaparis with the basketball, gives it up Sievers. Sievers into the front court, splits the defense, kicks it into the corner. Beckman, 3, in and out, no good. Rebound Hymanson is hit on the rebound by Ashton Arnold. Ashton Arnold has just picked up foul number 1. That is team foul number 3 against the Bruins. 4 against the Bruins here in the second quarter. Dordt leading 31-15. Throwing the ball in for the defenders. They get it. Left side, Beckman. Beckman 3-ball, good. She's not going to miss 2 in a row very often, and Beckman buries that one. She's got 10 points. And the defenders lead it 34-15, stretching out the lead ever so slowly. 10 points for Gustafson, 10 for Beckman thus far. And pass underneath, shot no good. Rebound cleared by Sievers. Sievers with the basketball. Sievers left side, Klecker. Klecker thought about pulling the trigger on the 3, instead wants to run offense. Looking for the pass down low is Hymanson. Hymanson, backdoor cut for Sievers. Sievers, Caparis. Caparis off the glass, good. Caparis with the 2-point bucket. She's got 4, and the defender lead is 21, 36-15. Right-hand side, Hall. Hall with the basketball. Hall gives it up to Terrell. Terrell's shot no good. There for the putback, though. The Bellevue Bruins. And Amina Hall. Hall with the putback. Left side it goes Klecker. 3 on the way. Good. Corner 3-pointer for Klecker. McKenna Klecker with the 3-point bucket, and the Dordt defenders lead 39-17. Bellevue in the danger zone right now. They could get blown out, make the second half academic at this point. Got to find a way to slow the train down and keep this within 20, I think. Ball taken away by Sievers on the steal. Sievers steps into the passing lane. Macy, pull up, 10-footer, good. Macy Sievers with the 10-foot bucket. She is the 9th different player to score for the defenders. Dordt leads 41-17. Dordt up by 24 as we approach the 1-minute mark of the first half. Right-hand side with the pass is Arnold. Arnold with it on the wing. Arnold looking for the pass through. Instead gives it off to Ross. 12 to shoot. Pass underneath. Nothing there. Throw it into the corner. Back around to the top of the key, and the 3 off the mark, no good. And a foul called on the rebound against Eliana Caparis. Ashton Arnold had a chance at it, and Caparis went up for the rebound as well. And Caparis picks up the personal foul. That's foul number 1 on her. Team foul number 4 on the defenders in this quarter. Well, I said Janie Schoenhoven will get another run, but doesn't look like she will this quarter. Going to leave her on the bench with those 2 personal fouls. Keep her ready for the second half of play. Gustafson tries to dig down on the double team. Here's Jurek. Jurek into the lane. Jurek scoops it up. Her 2-pointer, good. Dordt leads 41-19. The defenders have outscored Bellevue 17-6 here in the second quarter, extending the lead to plus 20. Right side with it is Nielsen. Nielsen with the basketball. Lob pass into the lane, Gustafson. Gustafson with the basket, count the hoop, and she is fouled. Gustafson with the 2-point bucket. It's 43-19. Pending a free throw for the 3-point play for Gustafson. Gustafson 2 for 2 so far from the free throw line tonight. 2 of 3 from the free throw line entering the contest. So a free throw by Gustafson is up and good. So Carly makes both free throws. Defenders lead 44-19. Caparis in the ball game along with Vasika. Under 15 to go, 10 now. Bellevue with it in the backcourt. They bring it up the floor. Ross splits the defense, throws it into the corner. 3-pointer is up and good. 3-point basket by the Bellevue Bruins. Miranda Hennings caps the scoring, but not before the defenders double up on the Bellevue Bruins through 1 half of play. It's 44-22, defenders by 22. As we go to halftime, let's take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll be back with more from the DeWitt Gym at halftime right after this 2-minute timeout.
Hello fans of Defender Sports, hope you're enjoying the game whether you're a friend or family member of a player or coach or a fan of the university. These players and coaches have put in hours and hours of practice, and it shows. But going into each and every game, there's one more thing that every coach makes sure the team has, and that's a game plan. If these players and coaches are willing to put this much time into planning for a game, how much more important is putting together a game plan for your financial life? Now, the financial world continually becomes more complicated, but if you don't have either the time or the desire to spend hours upon hours learning and keeping up with the changing rules of the game in the financial world, and then figuring out how that applies specifically to your financial life, you don't have to do it alone. For over 40 years, we've been helping households to build their financial game plan upon all the things more important than finances, while being good stewards of the resources God has entrusted to their care. Because there's things in life more important than money, and none of them are things. I'm Tom DeYoung, financial planner and president of Money Concepts, the planning firm. Check us out on the web or social media. Check out our podcast at moneyconceptsradio.com or your favorite podcast app, or schedule a complimentary meeting to see how a financial game plan might benefit you. Enjoy the rest of the game, and remember to spend your most valuable resources, your time and your attention, on the things in life that matter more than money.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University and sponsored by Sioux Center Health Therapy, partnering with Dordt University to provide quality care to all athletes. Sioux Center Health Therapy. And today's live stream broadcast brought to you by Verhoof Automotive. Verhoof Automotive in Sioux Center is your local Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, Chevrolet, and Buick dealer. Verhoof Automotive, worth the drive from anywhere.
Welcome back to the DeWitt Gym, where the Dordt defenders are leading the Bellevue Bruins 44-22. The defenders pulling away from Bellevue almost immediately. Had a 16-9 lead midway through the first quarter. 24-13 at the end of the first quarter. And it was 44-22 at halftime. The Dordt defenders in the first half of play, 18 of 29 from the floor. That comes out to 62%, and 4 for 9 on three-pointers for 44%, 4 of 6 on free throws for 67%. For the Bellevue Bruins, 9 of 30 from the floor, 30%, 2 of 16 on three-pointers, 12.5%, and 2 for 2 from the free throw line for 100%. I believe we have some highlights that, if we have a highlight package together, and we'll take a look at that now. Carly Gustafson going over 1,000 points here this evening. Carly tonight, 5 of 5 from the floor, a perfect 5 for 5. Dordt also got a total of 4 three-pointers in the first half of play. 3 different players hit 4 three-pointers, one of them being Macy Nielsen. Bailey Beckman hit a pair of three-pointers in the first half. And the Bellevue Bruins, their best offense was their offensive rebounding and a putback as Amina Hall pressed into action. She played 10 minutes in the first half, and she made 1 of 2. And McKenna Klecker made 1 three-pointer as well, as the defenders 4 of 9 from the three-point line in the first half of play. So we're at halftime, 44-22. The defenders leading Bellevue in women's college basketball. We'll take a 2-minute break, and we will be back with more from the DeWitt Gym. We'll take a look at all of the individual scoring and the numbers right after this 2-minute timeout.
Today's Dordt Media Network live stream broadcast is produced by the students of Dordt University.
And brought to you by Pizza Ranch, buffet, carry out, or delivery.
When you add up all the Wi-Fi connected devices in your home these days, you'll be surprised at how many there are and how much bandwidth they're using. Do the math. It just may add up to needing faster Wi-Fi. Premier Communications has you covered with reliable internet speeds up to 1 gig. Keep everything connected with Premier Communications. Visit us online at mypremieronline.com or call at 1-800-741-8351. Premier Communications. Looking ahead.
Here are the individual numbers for tonight's contest for the Dordt defenders. They're led by Carly Gustafson unofficially with 13 points, and I've been handed the official stats, so I can say officially. Carly hasn't missed a shot yet. 5 for 5 from the floor and 3 for 3 on free throws. 10 points for Bailey Backman, 4 of 5 from the floor, 2 for 3 on three-pointers. Janie Schoenhoven bothered with a little foul trouble in the first half. She picked up 2 personals. She's got 5 points. Faith Van Hollen and Hayden Hymanson with 2 points apiece. 4 for Eliana Caparis, 3 for Macy Nielsen, 2 for Macy Sievers, and 3 for McKenna Klecker for their total of 44. 10 players played in the first half for the defenders, and 9 of them scored. For the Bellevue Bruins, 9 of 30 from the floor, 2 of 16 from the three-point line. It's been a long night so far for the Bruins. 6 points for Ashton Arnold, 5 points for Faith Ross, 4 for Asha Scott, 3 for Miranda Hennings, 2 for Laura Jurek, and 2 for Amina Hall for their total of 22 points. Janie Schoenhoven and Macy Sievers each have 4 rebounds. Faith Van Holland with 3 rebounds, along with Bailey Beckman, 2 for Hayden Hymanson, and 2 for Macy Sievers and McKenna Klecker. Beg your pardon, McKenna Klecker 2 assists. Macy Sievers also with 2 assists. Rebounding for Bellevue, 3 for Ashton Arnold, 2 for Faith Ross, Asha Scott with 2 rebounds, Delaney Van Blaricon with 3 rebounds. Dordt with a 2014 rebounding edge, committed 5 turnovers, while the Bellevue Bruins have 7. We're at halftime. Dordt leading 44-22. Nothing on the Dordt calendar for tomorrow in terms of athletics. Thursday, got some junior varsity basketball happening on Thursday night. Friday, the Defender basketball teams traveling to Orange City. Women will play at 1 o'clock on Friday, and they will be facing Trinity Christian. They'll face Dickinson State at 11 o'clock in the morning on Saturday. And then the following week, we get into Great Plains Athletic Conference play. 1 week from tomorrow, Dordt is at Morningside. And 1 week from this Saturday, the Defenders will host the Concordia Bulldogs. Both of those games next week are women's and men's basketball doubleheaders. The men's basketball team will be playing this weekend as well in Orange City. They'll play on the back end of those women's contests. The women will play, the women play at 1. The men will play at 3 on Friday. The men will be facing Viterbo, the V-Hawks. And then on Saturday, Dordt will play at 1 o'clock, and they are facing IU East, the Red Hawks, on Saturday. Dordt football concludes their season this Saturday when they travel to Fremont, Nebraska to take on the Midland Warriors. You'll be able to hear that game on KIHK, Rock Valley, 106.9. And also this weekend, well, the Defender volleyball team in a wait-and-see situation right now. They will learn their postseason fate 1 week from yesterday. That's when the field, the national tournament field, is set. National championship field is set 48 teams will make it, and the Defenders right now, their season right now in a holding pattern as they lost on Saturday to the Jamestown Jimmies on the road. There is more GPAC semifinal volleyball tomorrow, and they'll set the finals up then for Saturday in volleyball. Other action taking place today. Men's soccer, Dordt lost to Concordia 1-0 in men's soccer play. So the Dordt Defenders soccer season comes to an end with a 9-4-6 record. So congratulations to Coach Ryan Gressy and the Dordt men's soccer team, advancing into the semifinals for the first time since 2014. Love to see them take a step forward again next year. Time will tell. And the other GPAC scores. Hastings is hosting Midland in soccer play. That's a night game tonight. Men's basketball, York is at Hastings. Mount Mercy is at Briar Cliff. Dakota State is at Mount Marty. Women's basketball tonight, College of St. Mary is at York. Dakota State's at Mount Marty. Jamestown is at Mayville State. Women's soccer tomorrow, Hastings is at Jamestown for GPAC championship play. And in women's volleyball tomorrow evening, Dakota Wesleyan is at Jamestown for the semifinals, and Concordia is at Midland, with those winners playing at the highest remaining seeds on Saturday, or the highest remaining seed on Saturday for the championship. Let's take one more 2-minute break, and we'll be back with second half play from the DeWitt Gym in 2 minutes.
As a bank that cares about supporting small businesses, American State Bank assisted hundreds of young entrepreneurs launch their first business. Starting a business can be complicated, even when it's just a lemonade stand. It's never too early to begin thinking towards your next project, and we'll be here to help make it go as smoothly as possible. Supporting entrepreneurs, no matter their age, it's what we do.
Today's broadcast is sponsored by Northside Body Shop. When you expect the very best in the repair of your vehicle, call Northside Body Shop Limited today. Serving the Sioux Center area since 1955. 712-722-2313.
(44-22), Defenders leading by 22 at halftime. Some scores from around the league. Women's basketball, Mayville State defeats Jamestown today, 74-56. Also in women's basketball, Dakota State over Mount Marty, 78-49. Currently underway, Briar Cliff leads Mount Mercy, 46-31 in men's basketball. Pass goes left side, and we're going to have a travel called against Bailey Beckman. And in that men's soccer match, it looks like Hastings will be hosting the Concordia Bulldogs in men's soccer play on Friday, as they lead Midland with little time remaining, 2-0. And they look like they are headed to the GPAC championship game. Stepping on the end line out of bounds as we resume play, that's Ashton Arnold. Arnold turns it over, and the Dordt defenders will get the basketball back. Dordt leading by 22, both teams with a couple of turnovers to start the second half. Hymanson with it on the left elbow. Hymanson throws it inside Gustafson. Gustafson trying to find Schoenhoven and led her just a little bit too far. Back we go the other way. Bellevue with the basketball. Bellevue driving in with the right hand. Missed it, no good. Missing that shot from point blank range was Faith Ross. Over the top it goes to Van Hollen. The trailer Schoenhoven out front. Hymanson with it at the top of the key. Hymanson backs it out now to the left wing. 9 minutes left to go in the quarter. Jumper, pull up. Beckman, no good. Rebound taken away by Van Hollen. Kicks it back over to Beckman. Beckman 3, good. Bailey Beckman with 13 points. 3 threes for Bailey Beckman. And the Dordt defenders with the lead and the basketball after a steal by Schoenhoven on the post entry pass. Dordt leading 47-22. Hymanson trying to look over to Gustafson. Has it tapped away from behind. Here comes Bellevue. And now knocking it away is Janie Schoenhoven, doing her best impression of a defensive back in football. Turned around, saw the ball, knocks it away out of bounds, stops the fast break opportunity. And now the Bellevue Bruins with the basketball. Jurek with it, back on the right wing. Bellevue, been a tough night offensively for them. Scott with it on the left elbow, spins into the lane. Her shot too hard off the glass, rebound tapped, and Van Hollen comes away with it. Van Hollen over to Hymanson. Hymanson up the floor with it. Hymanson across the timeline. Hymanson on the left wing to the free throw line. 20 seconds to shoot. Now Van Hollen. Van Hollen inside Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven squares up. Comes back over to Gustafson. Gustafson wheels into the lane with the right hand. Good. Carly Gustafson with another 2. She's got 15. She and Beckman have led the way so far tonight. 49-22. Defenders leading. It's been all defenders almost from the start. 7 of 5 and got out to a comfortable lead shortly thereafter. And short arming the left-handed shot, no good. And the rebound foul is going to go on Ashton Arnold as Janie Schoenhoven held her ground underneath. Carly Gustafson last year in the national championship field in that tournament really played well down in Sioux City, and just feels like that has spilled over into the offseason and now moving forward as well. She is playing with a ton of confidence right now is Gustafson. Ball's down on the floor. It's loose. Hymanson tied up on the play. Jump ball. It will be Bellevue basketball. So Bellevue will get it back. In effect, a turnover by the defenders. Bellevue trailing 49-22. 7:11 left to play in this third quarter. The defenders leading and really haven't been challenged since the early going of this one. 49-22 Bellevue. Faith Ross with it. Ross at the top of the key. Dordt double teams her. Now she gets it away. Cross-court pass to Hennings. Hennings gives it up to Arnold. Arnold back out front. Hennings working against Beckman. Throws it back out for Ross. Ross with the basketball. Ross picks up her dribble. Back to Hennings. Hennings, high-low pass, shot, no good in the lane. Rebound tapped out of bounds. Last touched by Scott. It'll be Dordt basketball. Dordt basketball leading 49-22. Van Hollen gets the ball inbounded to Hymanson. Hymanson back to Van Hollen, and she'll take it across half court. Van Hollen with the basketball, gives it up to Hymanson. Hymanson in between the circles. Hymanson picks up her dribble, goes to Van Hollen. Van Hollen with the basketball, top of the key. Right side Gustafson shows it, spins into the lane. Tries for the crossover, and she's held on the play by Jurek. Jurek simply wrapped her up. And they're not going to give her fouls the way it looks, or free throws the way it looks. Jurek just simply like a defensive back getting beat. Basically wrapped her up, took the foul rather than giving up the 2-point basket. Van Hollen now fouled on the rebound. That foul is going to go on Miranda Hennings. Dordt will inbound the basketball, and Bellevue is going to go with 5 new players. 5 in for the Bellevue Bruins. 3 minutes and 47 seconds into the second half. Dordt inbounding Van Hollen. Van Hollen with it on the right side. Van Hollen left goes over to Beckman. Beckman with it, floats it up, count the hoop, and she is fouled. Bailey Beckman floater from the left side, gets it to go, and she is fouled on the play. She's got 15 points, and the Dordt lead is 51-22, pending a free throw. 8 minutes remaining here in, 6:05 remaining here in the third quarter. 52-22, the three-point play for Beckman. Beckman with 6 points here in the second half, 16 for the ball game. She now has game honors. Bellevue basketball out front. Van Blaricon looking down low, throws it into the post. Now the loose ball on the help defense. It's taken back by Beckman. Beckman with the basketball left side. Hymanson, free throw line jumper for Gustafson. Gustafson with 17, and the defender lead is 54-22. 54-22, ball tapped away by Gustafson. Gustafson with the steal. Gustafson gathers it in, layup good. Carly Gustafson with 19, and the Dordt lead is 56-22. We approach the midpoint of the third quarter, and this one's turned into a blowout. Dordt up by 34. Bruins, right-handed layup is up and good for the Bruins. And Van Blaricon with her first 2. Back the other way, Beckman with a 2-point bucket. Teams trading fast break baskets. Dordt leading 58-24. And there's a timeout on the floor. Timeout charge to the Bellevue Bruins. Dordt leading 58-24. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. Back with more in 1 minute.
Some people say life is just a series of events, a long line of happy accidents, just falling into place. But we see it a little differently here at Dordt. We work hard to bring out the best in you. We push you to strive for the bright future God has planned for you. Now is the time to bring your passion to life here at Dordt. Be part of something special.
This Dordt Media Network student-produced live stream broadcast is brought to you by Joyner and Zwart Dentistry in Orange City, offering dentures, implants, and dental care for your whole family in a modern and friendly atmosphere.
And sponsored by Sioux Center Health Therapy, partnering with Dordt University to provide quality care to all athletes. Sioux Center Health Therapy.
(58-24), the defenders leading by 34. We get into the second half, and we're 5 minutes in now, and not much has changed for the Bruins up to this point. They have not been able to solve the Dordt defense regularly. Bellevue basketball, right-hand pass, goes over to Bigger. Bigger with the basketball, gets it back on the right side. Bigger, round the horn they go, comes back on the wing, picks it up back to Van Blaricon. Van Blaricon off the backboard, no good. Loose ball on the rebound. It's controlled by Bellevue. Corner 3 off the mark, no good. Rebound tracked down by Macy Sievers. Sievers off to the races. She's at the free throw line, throws it into the corner. Macy Nielsen, her 3, missed it, no good. Rebound controlled by Bellevue. Bellevue up and running with it. And driving in, shot no good, but a foul on the play called on Macy Nielsen. And she tried to beat Delaney Van Blaricon to the spot. She didn't. And Macy Nielsen is called for her second personal foul. And that is team foul number 1 against the defenders here in this quarter. 4:04 remaining in the third period. First free throw is up and good. So a made free throw for Van Blaricon. Van Blaricon 4 of 8 this season. Entering the game, she's got 3 points now. This one's up and off the heel, no good. Rebound tipped around and controlled by Bellevue. Terrell with the basketball, 58-25, Dordt leading. Bellevue with it. Pass goes down low, and Caparis holding her ground, and stepping on the end line is Friedman. Dordt will have the basketball back. Schoenhoven is back in. Gustafson will check out. In case you're just joining us, the Dordt men's soccer team loses 1-0 to Concordia today. Hastings, a 2-0 winner over Midland, so the GPAC championship is set. McKenna Klecker has her pocket picked in the corner. Here comes Bellevue racing the other way. Shot no good. And the rebound controlled by Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven gives it up to Sievers. Sievers for the basketball. Sievers throw it through the lane. Caparis, kick out pass. 3 on the way. Nielsen, good. Macy Nielsen with the 3. Caparis with the assist. Looked like Caparis had an easy 2. Instead saw the shooter on the wing, found her, and she knocks it down to Macy Nielsen, her second 3 of the day. Dordt leading 61-25. Van Blaricon, they get it down low to her, working against Schoenhoven. And she muscles it up, shot no good. Rebound taken away by Caparis. Caparis gets it away, Sievers, right side Klecker. Klecker looking down low, finds Schoenhoven. Fires it back outside for Nielsen. Nielsen into the right corner, Klecker. Klecker out front, Sievers. Sievers, right side, Klecker. Klecker open 3 off the front of the rim, no good. Rebound taken down by Sievers. Sievers, Caparis. Caparis off the glass, good. Eliana Caparis with 6. Dordt leads 63-25. A 38-point lead for the defenders. And a turnover now by Bellevue and Terrell. And the Bellevue Bruins will get their defense set. Klecker will throw the ball in for the defenders. Dordt in front, 63-25. On the right side with it is Sievers. 1-2-2 zone applied here by Bellevue, and we've got an illegal screen called on Macy Nielsen. Nielsen, the junior from Sioux Falls, gets clipped for a foul on the screen. Dordt leading 63-25. This Bruin team averaging 65 points per game coming into the contest. 63-25, Dordt. Asha Scott will bring it up the floor. Scott with it across the timeline. Scott against Sievers, cut off. With it on the left wing is Hennings. Hennings, 10-footer in the lane, missed it, no good. There for the rebound and the putback is Scott. Asha Scott with 6 points. 63-27, Dordt with the basketball. Sievers gives it high post, Caparis, outside Klecker. Klecker 3, good. McKenna Klecker with the 3-point bucket. She's got 6. And the defender lead is 66-27. Double pump by Asha Scott with the right hand. She's got 8. Got 4 points here in the second half. Dordt leads 66-29. Macy Sievers with it on the left side, picks up her dribble, goes back over to Klecker. Klecker, Sievers, Sievers, high post Caparis, outside Nielsen, 11 to shoot. Nielsen off the dribble, her shot in and out, no good. And the rebound is controlled by Arnold. Arnold into the front court. Arnold puts it up, and we have a charging foul called against the Bellevue Bruins. And now they're going to say that Nielsen was inside the circle with her heels on the line. Would love to get a replay of that if we could. Macy Nielsen getting called for her 4th personal foul. And Macy Nielsen, 66-29, the defenders leading. And free throws on the way for the Bellevue Bruins. So 2 free throws on the way for the Bruins. And Shelby Little. And now I believe the question is, did the shot go in? Should it count? Well, if it went in, it should count. And they will give the 2-point bucket to Shelby Little. 3-point play opportunity coming here now for Little. And I am not convinced that Nielsen wasn't outside the circle. Just going to throw that out there as I take a look at the replay online. 66-31 after the 3-point play. Right side pass, it goes to Sievers. Sievers gives it off underneath Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven with a left hand, good. Janie Schoenhoven with 6. Dordt leads 68-32. 68-32 our score, under 30 seconds to go. Dump it down low. This is left to go in the 3rd period. Dordt leading 68-31. Steal by the defenders. Hymanson. Hymanson to Schoenhoven, and Schoenhoven unable to maintain possession of it. 68-31 our score. Throwing the ball in will be Sievers. 17 seconds, gets it into Schoenhoven. Shot clock is off. Left side is Beckman. Beckman goes back over to Gustafson. Gustafson squares up, puts it on the deck. Shot in the lane short, no good. Rebound taken away by Bellevue. 1 second remaining, and the desperation heave at the horn, no good. And we've played 3 quarters of basketball. Our score, Dordt 68, Bellevue 31. We'll be back with the 4th quarter of action right after this. You're listening to Dordt Basketball on KIHK and the Dordt Media Network. Back with more in a minute. (68-31), Dordt leading by 37 here as we begin the 4th quarter. Dordt taking a lot of the suspense out of this one early on. The defenders so far, as we take a look at the numbers, 28 of 45 from the floor, 62%, 7 of 15 on threes, and 5 of 7 on free throws. They have a 31-20 rebounding edge. Bellevue 13 of 43 from the floor, 2 of 17 on three-pointers, 3 of 5 from the free throw line. Bellevue with 14 turnovers, Dordt with 11. Dordt had 6 turnovers in the 3rd quarter. Van Hollen to throw the ball in, gets it into Sievers, and we are underway with the final quarter of play. Dordt basketball, they try to feed it down low, ball that tipped around. Coming up with it is Beckman. Beckman shot from the right wing, no good, right elbow. And the rebound is controlled by the Bellevue Bruins. Bruins lead at 68-30, trail at 68-31. Well, the defenders look like they're going to stay perfect on the season thus far. Asha Scott with the basketball. Scott gives it up to Van Blaricon. Van Blaricon in the lane. Her shot no good. Rebound controlled by Van Holland. Faith Van Holland with a rebound. Faith up the floor. She goes left side over to Seaver. Seaver swing pass right side. Back over to Hymanson. Hymanson step back. Her three from straight on. Missed it. No good. But there for the rebound is Gustafson. Gustafson lost it. She was going up with it. They're not going to award her with a 2 free throw situation, though. It's going to be out of bounds. Dordt basketball right side of the lane as we face the hoop. Laura Jurek whistled for the personal foul. Gustafson tonight with 19. Beckman with 18. Schoenhoven with 7 for the defenders. All total, 9 different players have scored for the defenders. Many of them with 6 or more. Gustafson in the lane, missed it short, no good, and the rebound is controlled by, well, it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Dordt, it'll be Bellevue basketball. I get the sense that this officiating crew might be ready to head home. A lot of contact, and that was called a foul in the first quarter. It's not a foul right now. Bellevue with the basketball, driving in. Sievers contests, and the layup is good for the Bruins. Bruins with a 2-point basket. Back the other way we go. Sievers. Sievers gives it up. Gustafson. Gustafson back outside Van Holland. Van Holland to Sievers. Sievers with the basketball. Free throw line. Gives it up to Gustafson. Missed it. No good with the left hand. Rebound controlled by Bellevue. Bellevue up and running with it. 68-33. Bruins have it. Asha Scott. Scott with it at the free throw line. Scott gives it up. Back out front. 8:15 and counting. Schoenhoven will check into the ball game at the next break. And there's a 3, cast up, no good, and the rebound controlled by the defenders. Pass into the front court, Beckman. Beckman with the basketball. Beckman down to the baseline, cut off, tries to pass it out, and Dordt getting a little sloppy with it. Taken back by Hymanson. Hymanson with the basketball. Hymanson back over to Sievers. Sievers offline, shot no good. And the rebound, Van Holland, and we have a foul called on the rebound against the Bellevue Bruins. Foul's going to go on Jurek, and that's number 4 on her. I beg your pardon, that's 5. I missed one on Laura Jurek. So Jurek fouls out of the game with 2 points by my count. She's disqualified on fouls here with 7:51 remaining here in the ball game. Bellevue looking like they're going to drop to 1-4. Pull-up jumper by Beckman, no good. Rebound Van Holland. Kick-out pass back to Hymanson. Hymanson in the lane. Her shot no good. And the rebound controlled by Bellevue. Bellevue with the basketball. Dordt leading 68-33. They give it off underneath, and Ashton Arnold with a 2-point bucket. She's got 8. And the Dordt lead is 68-35. 68-35. Beckman with the basketball. Dordt, their longest drought here, and Beckman ends it. Beckman with the 3-point bucket. Beckman with her 4th 3. She also has a 3-point play to her credit. She's got 21 points tonight. And the defender lead is 71-35. Beckman tonight 8 of 12 from the floor. And we have a 10-second violation called against the Bellevue Bruins. Those are the kind that will drive you crazy. Asha Scott was not being pressured and gets called for a 10-second violation and bringing the ball across half court. So Dordt gets the ball back, leading by 36, 71-35. Beckman with it at the free throw line. Schoenhoven in traffic, and she is fouled on the play. Foul's going to go against the Bellevue Bruins, and Janey will go to the free throw line to shoot 2. She's got 6 points so far. Well, the defenders started this game 10 of 12 from the floor in the first quarter. Third quarter, they were 10 of 16. First free throw, no good for Schoenhoven. Another one on the way for the sophomore from Hospers, Iowa. Second free throw is up and good, so Schoenhoven makes 1 of 2. She's 2 of 5 now from the charity stripe, and she's got 8 points. Answering back, the Bellevue Bruins. Dordt leading 72-37. That was a basket by Shelby Little. Little with 4 points. They give it underneath Schoenhoven. Schoenhoven up strong. Good. Janey Schoenhoven with another 2 points. And Schoenhoven with 10 points tonight. 73-35, defenders leading 73-37, beg your pardon. Shot no good, rebound tipped. In traffic and off of the glass on the putback is Asha Scott. Scott with 10. Dordt leads 73-39. 74-39, beg your pardon. Beckman throws it right side, Klecker, they throw it underneath for Schoenhoven, help defense. Back to Van Hollen, 12-footer, right elbow, no good. Rebound controlled by Bellevue. Bellevue with the basketball, Dordt leading 74-39. Next time Dordt will be in action here in the DeWitt will be a week from this Saturday when they host Concordia. Miranda Hennings, they give it underneath to Ashton Arnold. Arnold dump it back outside. 3 on the way is up and good. 3-point basket for Faith Ross. She has 8. And the defenders lead 74-42. 74-42. Beckman in traffic off of the glass. Can't get it to go. Halfway down and rolls out. And here come the Bruins. Bruins with it. 74-42. Kick out pass, right wing. 3 on the 3-point line is Hennings. Hennings gives it underneath, and a shot by Scott is no good, but a reach-in foul called on the defenders. And McKenna Klecker. Klecker whistled for the personal foul. The defenders just 2 of 11 from the floor here in the fourth quarter. They've been outscored 11-6 so far here in the fourth. Asha Scott at the free throw line, a 58% free throw shooter. First one is good. She's got 11 points. Another one on the way for the senior from Washington, D.C. Trying to make it a 30-point ball game. 74-43 pending the free throw. And the free throw no good. Rebound controlled by the Bruins. They give it off to Hall. Hall's shot no good. Put back no good, and the ball goes out of bounds. Last touched by Bellevue. It'll be Dordt basketball. 74-43 defenders. Ball's inbounded. It's taken away. A steal by the Bruins. Now a scoop shot no good. Rebound controlled by Van Holland. And Van Holland is fouled on the play by the Bruins. Frustrating night tonight for Bellevue. Hall whistled for the personal foul. That's her second. And Van Holland will throw the ball in left side of the lane as we face the hoop. Pass comes in to Sievers. Sievers. Left side it goes to Klecker. Klecker with the basketball. Klecker with it on the wing. Klecker comes back. Sievers. Sievers with it at the free throw line. Backs it back out to the center jump in between the circles, and the ball tipped out of bounds. Last touched by Bellevue. It'll be Dordt basketball. So inbounding the basketball will be Macy Nielsen. Nielsen looking, finds Caparis. Caparis back to Nielsen. Nielsen drives in, scoops it up, shot no good. Rebound tipped and controlled by Bellevue. Pretty ragged here for the last 6 minutes or so. Bellevue basketball on the left-hand side. This is Terrell. Terrell with it, and they throw it away. Turnover back to the defenders for Bellevue. That is the 17th turnover against the Bruins. And throwing the ball in will be Van Hollen. Van Hollen gets it into Nielsen. 4 minutes to go in this one, and if you're Dordt, you simply want this one to be done. Even though you're in front, it's just gotten uglier and more physical as the game has gone along here. Nielsen to Klecker. Klecker on the right elbow. Klecker puts it up, short-armed it, got held on the play, shot no good. And the rebound is controlled by Bigger. Bigger with it on the right side. Bigger gives it up and nearly thrown away. Bruins with it. Throw it down into the post to Friedman. Friedman with it. Friedman lowers her shoulder and gets the shot to go. Friedman with a 2-point bucket at 74-45. 3:20 left to play. Driving in, laying it up is Sievers. Sievers with a 2-point bucket. She's got 4. Macy Sievers makes it 76-45, a 31-point lead for the defenders. Clock continuing to run, 3:05 remaining. Right side with it. 3 on the way by Hall is up and good. Hall with 5 points. And the Bruins are now 4 of 19 from the three-point line. They're going to get to 20 points. They've gotten to 20% at this point. They can afford to miss one, and they're still at 20% on three-pointers. Right side it goes, Nielsen. Nielsen 3, too strong, no good. Rebound tipped and controlled by Caparis. Back it goes Sievers. Sievers 3, missed it, no good from the wing. Rebound controlled by Bellevue. It's been a while since we had a stoppage in play. Got players waiting to check in. Shot off of the glass is up and good. And Bellevue with a 2-point bucket. Van Blaricon. 76-50. Dordt leading by 26. And this game for Bellevue, for Dordt, this one not played anywhere close to this close. And we've got a 30-second timeout as the defenders will use a timeout here. We'll keep it right here. This timeout brought to you by Casey's Bakery. Find your favorite bakery products at caseysbakery.com. 76-50, Dordt leading by 26. Bellevue has outscored Dordt here in the fourth quarter, but this one was finished. It just wasn't over yet. When the third quarter began, Dordt led 68-35. Defenders leading 76-50 right now, and basically just have to finish it out. 2:19 remaining. Maggie Walker checks into the game for the defenders. Also on the floor for the defenders, Taylor Drent, Brooklyn Hackbart, Bethany Vasika, and the inbounds pass to Walker, and Walker is held on the play. Maggie Walker is held on the play. She'll go to the free throw line. She'll shoot free throws. So Maggie Walker shooting 2. 76-50, Dordt leading by 26. And Walker's first free throw, no good. She's got another one coming. Second free throw on the way is up and down. So Walker makes 1 of 2 free throws. And the defender lead is 77-50. Terrell with the basketball. Terrell gives it up. This is Bigger with it. Bigger on the right side. Bigger comes back over to Hall. Hall with the basketball. Ball is loose, and it's picked up by Bellevue. Terrell with it in between the circles. Terrell at the free throw line. Fires it back outside. 5 to shoot. Shot is up on the rim, no good. Rebound tipped out and saved in by the Bruins. Loose basketball and a missed shot, no good. Rebound controlled by Vasika. She gets it away to Postma. Postma with the basketball. Postma to Walker. Walker with it, 90 seconds remaining in this one. Walker on the left-hand side, drives all the way in, lays it up with the left hand, missed it, no good. And the rebound is controlled by the Bellevue Bruins. 1:18 remaining. Shot is up and good. A 3-point basket by Van Blaricon. Van Blaricon makes it 77-53. Walker with the basketball to Vasika. Vasika in between the circles. 1 minute remaining. Throw it into the corner. Walker. Walker misses everything with the 3-point shot. Rebound taken away by Bellevue. Bellevue up the floor quickly. Shot is up. Blocked from behind by Vasika. Loose basketball picked up by Postma. Gets it back over to Walker. It's stolen back by Bellevue. And now reach-in foul called against the defenders. 43 seconds remaining. Dordt leading 77-53. This one basically decided in the first half as the defenders led 44-22 at the intermission. Bellevue. A little bit of offense here in the fourth quarter, but it's far too little too late. Out front, another 3. This one off the mark, no good. Rebound controlled by Drent. Drent with the basketball. Shot clock is off. And Drent going to be called for a charging foul. So the Bruins get it back. And the Bruins will walk it up with 20 seconds remaining. Dordt meeting them in man-to-man defense. Walker guarding Terrell. Spin move, and it's taken away by Walker. Walker with a steal, 7 seconds to go. Walker stops, looks for the trailer, finds Postma. Postma with it on the right elbow, and that's going to be the final. Our final score tonight in women's college basketball, Dordt 77, Bellevue 53. 77-53 the final. Dordt improves to 3-0, while the Bellevue Bruins fall to 1-4. Let's take a 2-minute break, and we'll be back with more right after this. You're listening to the Dordt Media Network and KIHK. Back with more in 2 minutes.
Experience-based,
relational,
inclusive. It's not just criminal justice, it's criminal justice through like the Christian perspective.
critical thinking, more than just criminal justice.
Applicable to all aspects of your life. You get the Christian aspect and how that looks in the real world and how to deal with difficult people, but then you also get how to help these people and help them get back up on their feet.
Probably real world.
Realistic.
Involved. You get the hands-on experience where we get to go on field trips. I really enjoyed going to Sioux City for the training simulator. And it was also a good time going to Chick-fil-A after, so.
The Dordt Defenders with a win here this evening in non-conference women's basketball, 77-53. The Defenders 3-0 this year, and they'll be playing a couple of more games this weekend in Orange City. It'll be a 1 o'clock start time on Friday. You can hear it on KIHK. And then Saturday at 11 o'clock, we'll have that game available via our internet, our website, and the Dordt Media Network will have the audio of that contest available on Saturday, both the women and the men's basketball games. Well, this one really much of the suspense taken out of it early as Dordt went 10 of 12 from the floor in the first quarter on the way to a 24-13 first quarter lead. They led 44-22 at the end of the first half. Outscored Bellevue 24-9 in the third quarter, and after everything was all said and done, Bellevue outscored Dordt 22-9 in the fourth quarter for a final of 77-53. This is the Wireless World post-game show, and we thank them once again for sponsoring the pre- and post-game shows. Wireless World, your local Verizon authorized retailer with 7 locations in Northwest Iowa. Visit them at wirelessworld.com. And while we take a look at the numbers, we can see the highlights on the Dordt Media Network as well. So we will take a look at those now. The Defenders in the second half That's Carly Gustafson with another 2 points for her. She now has 1,001 for the season. And I believe these are from the first half as Macy Nielsen knocks down a 3-point basket. And the defenders tonight with a total of 8 made 3-pointers. Here you're going to see another one of those. McKenna Klecker with the 3-point basket for McKenna. She hit a couple of threes. Bailey Beckman, she ended up with a team high 21 points tonight. Macy Nielsen also got into the act of a couple of 3-point baskets for the Dordt defenders as well. For Bellevue, it was a rough night. Asha Scott ended up with 5 offensive rebounds. She had 5 field goals. She ends up with 10 points. And McKenna Klecker, as I said, she had a couple of threes, 1 in the first and 1 in the second half. Here are your individual numbers as we tally things up. The defenders were led by Bailey Beckman's 21 points on 8 of 13 shooting. She was 4 of 5 from the 3-point line. Carly Gustafson with 19 points. And Carly Gustafson ends up going 8 of 12 from the floor and 3 for 3 on free throws. All 3 of her free throws were of the 3-point play variety. So she hit for double figures. Janie Schoenhoven, bothered by a little foul trouble in the first half. She ends up with 10 points. 2 points each for Hayden Hymanson and Faith Van Holland. 6 points for Macy Nielsen off of the bench. She went 2 of 5 from the 3-point line. Eliana Caparis with 6 points. She goes 3 for 4 from the floor. McKenna Klecker with 6 points as well. And Maggie Walker had a free throw. Macy Sievers ends with 4 points. She was 2 of 6 from the floor. For the Bellevue Bruins tonight, 11 points for Asha Scott, 10 for Faith Ross, 8 points for Delaney Van Blaricon, 8 points for Ashton Arnold, 2 for Laura Jurek, and 3 for Miranda Hennings, 4 for Shelby Little, 2 for Jillian Friedman, and 5 for Amina Hall. The defenders got 10 rebounds tonight from Faith Van Hollen. Janie Schoenhoven and Macy Sievers each had 7 rebounds. 4 rebounds for Eliana Caparis, 3 for Bailey Beckman, 2 each for Carly Gustafson and Hayden Hymanson. Hayden Hymanson also had 3 assists. Macy Sievers had 4, 2 each for Carly Gustafson and Faith Van Holland, and 2 for Eliana Caparis and McKenna Klecker. Schoenhoven and Hymanson each had 2 steals. Bellevue Bruins got 7 rebounds each from Asha Scott and Ashton Arnold. Dordt had a 42-35 rebounding advantage. Four rebounds for Delaney Van Blaricon, 6 for Jillian Friedman, and then a bunch of players with 2 rebounds each. Faith Ross and Miranda Hennings each had 2 assists, as did Olivia Beggar. The defenders for the game, 31 of 63 from the floor. Comes out to 49%, 8 of 21 on threes, 38%, 7 of 11 on free throws for 64%. For the Bruins, 22 of 62 from the floor, 47%. That included a 9 of 19 fourth quarter. Otherwise, their best quarter was a 36%. So they ended up 22 of 62 for 35.5%, 5 of 21 from the three-point line for 24%. Well, we're waiting on Coach Bill Harmson to make his way out of the locker room. Remind you what happened as well involving Dordt teams. Men's soccer. The Defender men lose to Concordia 1-0 in Seward tonight in the GPAC semifinals. So they will, that ends the season for the men's soccer team. And for the Dordt men's soccer team, they've closed their year 9-4-6 for the season. Concordia will play Hastings in the GPAC finals of that one. And taking a seat beside me is Carly Gustafson as the Dordt defenders get a win here this evening, 77-53. And Carly, first of all, congratulations on the win here this evening, and a really fast start for your team. And yeah, everything seemed to be clicking in the first quarter. Did you feel a start like this was possible for this team here this evening?
Yeah, I thought that coming into this game we kind of had a week off, and so I think we were all kind of ready to play and kind of sick of practice, so we were ready to get after it.
You entered the game with 999 points. Did you know that?
No.
No? Well, congratulations on joining the 1,000 point club.
Thank you.
I think there have been 14 or 15 women in Dordt basketball history, so you're in pretty elite company, so congratulations on that. And I guess I appreciate the fact you didn't know that and didn't seem to bother you at all, made your first 5 shots from the floor. Pretty good ball movement, and it seems the speed of the offense through the first 3 games that I've watched at least, it looks like that's been a point of emphasis as well, to play a little bit faster than you probably did last year. Am I seeing things correctly?
Yeah, we definitely are trying to do that more, just pick up the speed and really run in transition, and I think we're doing a good job of that so far.
Couple games coming up this week. You like these multiple games in a week? Means less practice, I guess.
Means less practice, but my body sure is going to take a toll, but I'm ready for them. It's nice to get back into game mode. So.
Well, I will let you go. Congratulations again on a fine game and joining the 1,000 point club, and we'll see you this weekend in Orange City.
Sounds good. Thank you.
That is Carly Gustafson, the newest member of the 1,000 point club, talking with us. And the Dordt defenders, Bill Harmson, will take a seat beside me as well. And for Coach Harmson, the Dordt defender women's basketball coach, nice start by your team tonight, Coach. And I said to Carly, she said, well, we were sick of practicing, so that was
True.
That was why they got the fast start. But I said to her, the speed of the offense, it appears that that's been a point of emphasis in the offseason, to play a little bit faster if you can. And your team has really done that over the first 3 games of the season.
Yeah, we have. And it's really fun to play that way, Mike. You know, I reflect back to, last year at this time and where we were at offensively and defensively. And I think we're ahead of where we were at that time. It's just we implemented a new offensive system last year and a new defensive system. And now we're just starting to I think we're starting to unravel it a little more, which is really fun to see our kids understand what has to be done.
The other thing that I said was on the air was you can tell that there's now some video out on your team in terms of some tendencies, and as the year goes along, coaches are going to pick up on tendencies, and that's the challenge of just because you can do it now doesn't mean you're going to be able to do it 2 weeks from now.
Amen. And we need to play good teams like this to expose that. We work on those things in practice, and those are not the fun things. Probably what Carly's alluding to, because, right now our team, we work on a lot of those things, and our team's like, I think, why are we doing that, right? And now this is the first team that really heated us up in the full court and really kind of tried to get us a little bit out of control. And that's something that we've worked on in practice a lot. And we haven't played against it. So now we can go back and we can prove it, right? Our pressure, we're leaving a wide open shooter at the end of the half. Those are things that we're working on in practice that we just haven't cleaned up yet. And so now there's video evidence, right, that we can go back and say, this is why we're trying to do what we're doing. But I tell you what, this team is really smart. And they understand the flow and the nature of the game and the flow and the nature of moving the ball. And, tonight we have 16 assists, right, on our 16 assists on our 31 field goals, and that's still pretty good. But, when you get up to that 20, then you start thinking it's pretty special, right? And so tonight, I thought that we turned down some shots that we would have taken, in our first 2 games. I thought that we made some passes that weren't quite on point, because we were getting jumpy maybe and starting to force things. So those are all things that we're going to be able to look at our first 2 games, look at this game, and go back and learn from it.
I asked Carly if she knew what her career point total was heading into the ball game tonight, and she said
sure
no. Did you know?
Yeah. Yeah, Jamie told me, I think, after our last game that she was 1 point short. And so we knew that was coming. But Carly, her nature is to not know, and she just wants to be with her teammates and play well and win. And so, it didn't surprise me at all that she did not know.
Trinity Christian coming up this weekend, Dickinson State, Friday and Saturday, back-to-back games. Carly said, well, we don't have to practice at least, but she said her body does start to feel it a little bit playing 3 games in 1 week. It'll be challenging, but at the same time, you're going to be playing conference games a week from right now. You probably still have some things you need to figure out.
We do, and we have some things to clean up before we get to Trinity on Friday. And we played 4 games in 5 days in March, and so 2 games in 2 days should be a piece of cake for us. And we're going to, this team has still got some young kids playing in key roles. And, we got to start maturing a little bit more. And that's something that we're addressing as a team and as a group. And hopefully this weekend we can show some maturity as we continue to get better.
I will let you go. Thanks for coming up. We'll see you in Orange City on Friday.
Thank you, Mike.
That is Coach Bill Harmson talking about today's contest, and that's going to do it for our broadcast, both on KIHK and the Dordt Media Network. But thank you to Carson Schubert back at the KIHK studios, and also thank you to our Dordt Media Network crew for their work here this evening, and for Coach Bill Harmson and Carly Gustafson. I'm Mike Biker. Have a great evening.